Today I'm going to be sharing with you what I eat in a day. I have lost 65 pounds on Trim Healthy Mama, and this is a typical day of eating on the weekend. So typically during the week, I usually have a yogurt or a protein shake or something like that for breakfast, but this morning I'm going to be having a delicious egg white omelet. So let's get started making that. So I really enjoy growing like herbs and greens and things like that I can use fresh. Once my garden's done in the summer, I like to grow things like Swiss chard and arugula and basil and things like that. So I'm going to be adding some of that to my omelet today, and I just want to kind of get it going in the pan. I've also got some egg roll in a bowl that I did last night for dinner. I'm going to just put a small amount of that in just so that I can have some vegetables and meat with this. And I'm just going to get the arugula and the Swiss chard kind of cooked down a little bit, wilted down. I like to keep egg whites on hand in case I'm baking or making something like that. It just really works out good. I mean, you know, it takes so many egg whites to get like a half a cup of egg whites. Now this actually has a lot of juice and liquid because of last night's egg roll in a bowl. So I'm actually gonna just take some of this out. I'm gonna take that liquid out, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start cooking up my eggs. So now all I'm going to do is add my egg white mixture. We're going to let that cook up a minute. I am going to add some salt and pepper to this. I actually start kind of pulling it together in the middle when I make an omelet or a scramble. And honestly, I may make this into a scramble today. That's kind of what I'm thinking actually. But I want to get these egg whites kind of cooked a little bit before I add the others back into this. So this is going to actually be more of a scramble than an omelet, but it is going to be really, really good. Now I'm actually going to put a small amount of feta cheese on this, not a lot, but enough that it just gives it a little bit more flavor. And one of the things I love about feta, it's just like sharp cheddar. You don't need to use as much to get plenty of flavor. So we're going to put a little bit of cheese on this, just like that. And this is just the plain feta. You can get any of the feta that you like. This is the President Feta Crumbles. And that's it. There's just not much to this. It's a really fast breakfast to put together. I'm going to be serving that on my Pioneer Woman little cow plate because I think they're so cute. And that's it. And there you go. That's a typical breakfast that I eat during the weekend. I like to spend a little bit of extra time and just make something really yummy. So it's about 11:30. I'm actually going to be making a protein shake. I've got a couple scoops of the Naked protein, whey protein. I've got 3 strawberries, some almond milk, and I'm going to go ahead and blend that up. So for tonight's dinner, I'm going to be making the Trim Healthy Mama loaded cauliflower bake. Now this is an S meal on Trim Healthy Mama, but I'm actually going to be adding a couple of chicken breasts to my meal. I just want to add some extra protein to it. So I'm going to be boiling up some chicken so that I can shred it up and put it into my casserole. So while our chicken is cooking, we're going to go ahead and start getting our cauliflower ready to, well, we're going to actually go ahead and steam it at this point. So all I'm going to do is take all this cauliflower off of the core here. So at this point, I'm not going to be cooking this cauliflower, but I do want to steam it for a little bit so that I can soften it up and get it ready for my cauliflower. So I'm just going to take this piece out of my Sistema microwave steamer. I just love this thing. And I'm gonna clean my cauliflower a little bit better, and then I'm gonna go ahead and steam it for about 7 minutes. So the reason I'm steaming this before my chicken is cooked is because I wanna be able to kind of drain this cauliflower before I put it in the casserole. So I'm gonna make sure it's vented. I'm gonna just stick it in the microwave for 7 minutes, and then I'll bring you back when the chicken's ready to shred and we put the casserole together. The other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my third less fat cream cheese out. I'm just gonna set it aside and let it, thaw out a little bit before we add it to our casserole. I'm actually gonna take it out of the box because I'm gonna be using this whole thing. So our chicken is cooked. I'm gonna go ahead and take the chicken out of the pan, and I'm just gonna shred it up. So when you shred up your chicken to the desired consistency, I go ahead and add my cauliflower. Now it's been drained, but it is very hot. So I'm just gonna kind of just cut this into a little bit smaller pieces. It says to add a chive and onion cream cheese. I actually don't have that, but I have this regular cream cheese, so I'm going to add some chives directly to this. Now this recipe calls for a pound of cooked bacon. I actually used a couple of pieces of it for another recipe a while back, but I do have quite a bit of it left, So now I've got my bacon all chopped up. I'm gonna go ahead and put that directly into my casserole. We're gonna be using some heavy whipping cream. I'm gonna be adding some onions to this. These are some frozen onions. I've added some dehydrated chives to this. I'm actually gonna put in some powdered garlic. And I'm gonna put in a little bit of salt and pepper. And then that is it for the actual base of the casserole. Now you can put this in a 9x13 pan if you wanna have a nice thin casserole, however you wanna do it. I usually cook my food up in an 8x8 pan. That way I can use my oven top that I have on my counter, my Breville. I'm gonna spray my pan. Make sure that garlic's in there real good. We're gonna go ahead and add some cheese. All right, we're gonna put the rest of our casserole right on the top of this. Okay. Now we're gonna put some more cheese on top. And since everything's pre-cooked, we're only gonna cook this about 20 minutes at 400 degrees. So I'm gonna be serving some peaches and some extra light syrup that I canned this summer off my Alberta peach tree. I'm actually gonna be serving these with some cottage cheese. So this really is one of my favorite Trim Healthy Mama dishes. I love everything about this. It's savory, it's delicious, it's cheesy. I just love it. It reminds me of loaded mashed potatoes. It's just so good. So I'm gonna skip the green onion on top of it because I need my green onions tomorrow for a hot pot that I'm doing with a friend of mine. And I hope you'll tune in for that. She's actually from Hawaii and she makes a delicious hot pot, I've heard. And so we're gonna be doing that together, and I'll be bringing you that video sometime after tomorrow to share that with you. If any of you are interested in seeing how hot pot's done authentically, or if you would like to try to make it yourself. So anyway, let's get started on this delicious casserole. I'm gonna go ahead and serve up some of this. And you can see this is nice and thick and hot and delicious. So the last thing today I'm gonna be having, actually sometime later tonight when I get hungry for a snack, is one of these delicious Decadent chocolate muffins that I made yesterday. I'm gonna link that video above if you're interested to see how to make a really healthy but delicious muffin and you've got a chocolate craving. That is it. It is so good. So anyway, thanks for joining me today. I enjoyed having you along, and if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or ring that bell for future notifications, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.